Welcome to the TechnoGals Podcast, a podcast where we talk about leadership and anything else that is top of mind. Let's get started.
Okay, but that's a little weird because usually we say technology, not leadership.
Maybe there's something's happening. I don't know.
Yeah, you threw me
Or
off.
maybe I
You threw
forgot
me
the
off
intro.
there because the intro is always where we talk about technology and anything else is top of mind. All right, here we go.
Here we go. So today we plan to cover a few topics. So one, just how our 2024 went and kind of where we felt like we landed with our goals and some exciting things there. We're also going to talk about what's coming in 2025, which is some super exciting stuff. My desk is wiggling. And then we're going to round it out with the new TechnoGals tradition of talking about Damp January and how we're going to navigate that. Navigate it sounds like a very serious word, but basically we're just going to taste test NA beverages, and it's going to be really fun. So,
Yeah.
All right. How do you think we did for 2024? What are your thoughts? How did we had a post about it, but like candidly, like how are we feeling we did?
Some things I think, we really crushed in some regards. And I think we also learned quite a bit just in the whole process. We're very new to anything media related. Like, yes, we have accounts, but we're not like huge social media people by any means. And so it's definitely been a bit of a learning curve, just what's the best methodologies for engagement and how can we ensure we have a purpose with what we're doing. We were kind of all over the place, a little bit chaotic.
A little bit.
Yeah. So like we've definitely probably refined our overall vision, mission, and purpose like over time, which is good. But I think that's probably pretty normal.
Yeah. Like when we first came into this, when we started like forming TechnoGals late 2023, we're just like, let's just like experiment with some random shit and see what sticks and if we have fun. And like the whole thing is if we're not having fun or we don't enjoy it, then like why would we do it? And so part of that was like what you're talking about, this like a little bit of chaoticness of the type of content we want to post, or what do we want to talk about on the podcast, or what guests do we want to have, or how often should we be posting, what platforms, all of those things. But like you said, I think coming out on the other side of 2024, we've learned, so much. And you and I were talking about this a little bit earlier today, but someone had reached out, and this has happened a couple of times, around how did you guys even get started? And then I was starting to kind of like talk through our process, and I was like, wow, actually that makes me feel really good because I learned a lot. I feel like I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. So that was a surprising thing for me, I guess.
This is what I love about it, because you and I talk about this a lot. And I think it's probably more so, I don't want to make a generalization, so I'm not going to. But we say at some point in time, you just kind of have to take a bet on yourself. And it's like, we're not going to this area with like, oh, we've got all this like 10 years of experience. We have more than 10 years of experience in leadership and working in corporate environments and working in male dominated industries. So like that, we have a lot of experience in. But creating content, figuring out what works, finding our audience, who's going to be ingesters of our whatever we think is important is definitely not something we're experienced at. So, but everyone kind of has to take that leap of faith to give yourself a try, and it's okay to fail. Like we made a lot of mistakes probably this past year, and there's nothing wrong with those because we learn from every single one of them.
Yeah. I think the other thing too that's really cool is like you said, we made a lot of mistakes, and at times it was really hard. And then sometimes we even just had to take breaks in between because we needed a reset, and like it was starting to feel overwhelmed because we obviously do have full-time jobs too. This is something we do for fun, and eventually we'd like to grow it into something bigger than that. But just giving ourselves some of that grace to be like, it's okay. Like you can slow down a little bit and still make meaningful progress, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like I have the kiddos at home, and so I know you don't have any kids at home, and so it's like when my end of my workday hits, like the last thing I want to do is spend 2 more hours at my desk doing new stuff or different stuff for TechnoGals because my kids want to hang out with me and they want to see me.
Yeah.
So I also them to modify my schedule a little bit. It's like I would rather do this once they go to bed, and so you just have to think about how do you put your day together and
Hmm.
make the most of that time, but also still not ignore that you want a work-life balance. And this is it's something we enjoy doing, but it does also require time, and so it has to be done in a way that we are strategic about how do we produce the content and put it out there as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think one thing that I was pretty surprised about in 2024 was one of our goals was to have a community of 1,000 followers, whether that was like LinkedIn or Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, all of these places that we kind of post some content. And um in the beginning, it was really hard to get followers. We'd get like this big influx if we had a really cool guest on and we were able to tag them, and then we could leverage their network to grow. And then we were still like trying to identify like what content was hitting and which ones were missing where we were just getting like zero engagement. So that was kind of interesting. But one thing that was really cool is on LinkedIn, there's a feature. Brett, you and I have talked a lot about this, where you can like invite people to your page, and we both had a little bit of this fear, like, oh, like we don't want to bother someone with like inviting them to our page. Like that feels a little cringy, a little salesy sort of thing. But when we did that, we're like, well, if they don't want to follow the page, and then they won't follow the page, or if they do, and hopefully they like the content, and we can keep growing and things like that. So I thought that was one thing that was really surprising, is when we like let some of our own weird assumptions and kind of, I don't know, bias is probably not the right word, but just let some of that go and tried something different. Like we got like a huge influx of people joining the community. So I thought that was really cool and something that,
100%. I think that was my number one lesson learned as I think about it, is that I talked about this on the podcast that I was a guest on as well, on Momspiration or Empower Her. And like my biggest lesson learned in probably my career is like to ask for help.
yeah.
And it's so hard for me to do. I don't like to ask for help. I feel super independent. I feel super confident. I feel I can just dive in deeper and learn it myself and figure
Mm-hmm.
it out. Even with the house, I've installed flooring before in my own house. I've, done plumbing work in my own house before, like small repairs and stuff like that. It's like, I'll figure it out. But asking for help is not that this is a negative thing, but my brain has
Yeah.
it wired to think it's negative, and I don't know where that comes from, besides like hyper independence, which I think can also be a bit toxic to myself, as I've learned throughout this past year. But
Yeah.
simply sending it and just saying, we think our content's cool. We're, like you might be able to gain from it. I did like select people I thought might have an interest in it. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like I spammed all these people, but I was like, I
Same.
think these people are people that would enjoy the content. And it was very positive. And even when you put that post out there and you're like, we're so close to hitting our goal, can you help
Oh yeah.
us?
That was really cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of positive results from that. And it's one of those like weird lessons learned. Like it's okay to ask for help, or it's okay to use your network to support what you're trying to grow and what you're trying to do, because it's not like we're trying to be cringy.
Right.
We're passionate about it and we believe in it.
Right. And it's like no skin off our backs if we invite you to follow, or if we ask you to help repost or share or engage or whatever, and you don't, like,
That's
our
okay.
feelings aren't hurt. Yeah, it's totally fine. But if you didn't know about it and you want to join the awesome shenanigans of the Techno Gals, then you should. Absolutely.
And we'd love to have you. So like that was definitely like a really big lesson learned, and that's one of the areas that we crushed. Our goal was 1,000, and we hit about like 900 or so in November,
Yeah.
or maybe late November, and we were
Yeah.
so 900 probably early November, and then we put that post out there and we started asking some of our network for support, and we've really kind of crushed it in those last 6 weeks, and I think we're almost close to 1,300 or so
Yeah.
followers now. So it just
Right.
continues to grow, and that's like that snowball effect.
Yeah. So I think this is a good segue then to talk a little bit about new goals for 2025 and what we have kind of in the pipeline. You wanna share
So
something?
this is great. I think it's super exciting. The thing we talked about wanting to create a community that challenges and grows and inspires the folks that want to be in our community and engage with us and engage with the rest of the community as well. And so one of the things that we probably got the most positive feedback about was our content, as far as it being helpful. People were using it. And so we want to create more content, but we also want to create it in multiple channels or avenues that can be ingested based upon people's preferences. So in 2025, people will see more channels for engagement, which is like YouTube and Instagram, and then having shorter or like more like snippets of
You
how.
said you said micro moments, so I think that needs to be like, what do you
Yeah,
call it? Like
yeah,
trademarked.
yeah, micro moments where maybe it's 90 seconds of something or 90 seconds of a book review. And so like you can kind of, not even a review, but just like a very condensed down where you can get like
Yeah.
3 bullet points of it that you can take with you immediately and apply. And so I think we'll see a lot more opportunities for us to have like video content as well as the continued content we put on LinkedIn, but just different ways people can engage and hopefully take bits of information, micro moments, and apply
Yes.
it directly to their workday.
Yeah, and it's really cool too because Alicia and I are very similar in the fact that we constantly want to learn new things. And so part of this is, and we're obviously still trying to figure all of this out, but like, how do we divide and conquer learning these new platforms and how to best engage? So we're both like taking training courses on like YouTube best practices and Instagram monetization and all of these things. So I'm pretty excited, like moving into 2025 around just even continuing to learn in our own space so that we can even share more content on some of the stuff that we're learning on this new kind of, is it an influencer journey? I don't know. I feel weird saying influencer, but it kind of is. But it's kind of not. How do you feel about the word influencer? The TechnoGals influencers.
I mean, I do think it like influencer in general kind of has like a negative connotation, and I don't think
Yeah.
that's like what we're trying to fully do. But for me, I see it as we are both helpers. You started as your career as an EMT because you wanted to help others. I started in education because I wanted to help others. And to me, I see this as we are taking our 30 plus years of combined experience working in
Oh,
these
that
spaces
sounds
that we
weird.
are. I know, right? And putting it into ways that help others accelerate their journeys.
Yeah.
And we've learned a lot of mistakes and we're comfortable learning those mistakes, but that learning mistakes also elongates your path.
Yep.
So if we can find a way to shorten that for someone else, we're helping others, we're bettering their lives, their career journeys, and supporting their growth, which I think is more where our passion is as opposed to being like an influencer.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think the other thing that we've really kind of narrowed down for 2025 is like, what's our niche? Where do we want to focus? And so 2024 was like all about like, let's just get out, like put ourselves out there, talk about things that we're passionate about, see what lands well. 2025 is going to be more about identifying that niche where we can really like double down in. And one of the things that we're really going to focus on is leadership, and specifically individual contributors wanting to move into their first leadership role and first time leaders that are wanting to kind of like grow and accelerate their kind of career path in that space. There's a lot of, I think, influencers, a lot of content creation around how to get to the C-suite. And like these people have a bunch of executive experience, which is totally awesome. One of our really good friends, Shayla King, like she has a business totally kind of surrounded by this on how to get to that C-suite or that next level. We just don't have that experience. We're totally okay with it. But what we do feel like we have a lot to offer in is just those first time, like you're really passionate, you want that first time people leadership role. I think we are in a really good position to help you get there. So I'm super excited to kind of niche down and have this really kind of core focus that we can hopefully drive some good stuff 2025.
Yeah, that's also one of the things I think will be like a change for 2025 is just seeing more content specific for those emerging leaders. So how do we help someone transition? There's a ton of mistakes new leaders make from when you're an IC, you're great at execution on tasks. But once you move into a leadership position, you now have to influence your team. You have to motivate your team to execute those tasks as opposed to you. You're creating that vision and strategy, the overarching goals that align to your company.
Yep.
But you're not necessarily the executor. So you have to be willing to delegate. Part of that comes with crucial conversations or difficult conversations. So all of that transitions. How do you interact, but also drive results through others as opposed to yourself? Very different set of skill sets. And that's where we'll see a lot of content from us this year, is targeting that area. And how do we help new leaders accelerate that time?
Yep. I can't remember if we aligned on talking about this specifically. So if we didn't, we'll just edit it out. But one of the things that we're super excited for, we don't have a firm date yet, but to introduce some sort of formalized coaching plans and some digital trainings that people will be able to engage with us in different ways. So that's super exciting. Alicia's coming to Wichita in the last week of January. And so we're going to spend a lot of time on that. So that's going to be super exciting. You also got a website in the works. So I was working on that today. Like, it's just going to be really good. 2025 is where it's at.
For sure. And with that, like, people can expect to start to see changes. They'll see different logos. They're going to see new branding from us. They're going to be able to buy some merch if they're super into our podcast or super into like what we're trying to do. So there's definitely some opportunities for people to support TechnoGals in different ways, all somewhat TBD. But you will start to slowly see changes, and we will introduce them as we have them complete. Again, we do have full-time day jobs, so we are squeezing this in between areas where we find time.
Until we can do it full-time. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so how about we taste test some non-alcoholic beverages in the damp January spirit?
Yeah, so I sent this. I think a lot of folks probably are familiar with Dry January. This all kind of goes along with, I think, New Year's resolutions, goal settings. You're also going to start to see some content here in January about different types of goals and setting goals and staying committed to your goals and so forth. And I'm not a big resolution person. I don't really do it. I don't know why. I just don't. I just know that the gym I go to has a huge influx of people right now.
Yep.
And then it makes me want to take a break until February.
Home workout.
But I sent Tracy this funny video of this person that was like asking a lot of her, I'm assuming family and friends, like, do you want to do Dry January with me? And they're like, no, I can't. I'm going on vacation. It was so many no's. I was just like cracking up at it.
The whole time it was no.
Yeah. There was one person, even like it looked like maybe her mom or someone, and she was like, no.
She like laughed first and then was like, no.
Yeah. But you and I are not like Dry January people. And we're also like, we've been like, I would say, sober curious for a long time as far as like embracing non-alcoholic beverages and thinking about mindful partaking. Like when we decide to have a drink, why are we choosing to drink and so forth? And we've been doing that for well over like a year now. So we have quite a selection of non-alcoholic drinks, and non-alcoholic drinks are also extremely expensive. So part of us showcasing you these different ones and telling you which ones taste good and what they taste like is so you don't have to spend all of your money.
You're welcome.
Trying to figure it out yourself, because it's freaking expensive. Honestly, 3 times the cost of just buying a beer.
Yep. And like there's non-alcoholic wine options, non-alcoholic spirits and fake bourbon and stuff. Oh, might have to go snag the fake bourbon. I do have some of that in the pantry.
I think it's either a tequila or what do you make? Whiskeys, because we were trying to make non-alcoholic old fashions.
Yeah.
I didn't bring any of those down, but I did bring a few down.
Yeah. Okay. So which one are you going to start with? And then you go first and we'll just do like a back and forth taste test, because I don't know which ones you brought and you don't know which ones I brought. So it's going to be kind of funny to see if any of them are the same.
I bet they're not. But okay. I'm going to go to a gym class, even though I said I like to avoid it till February here shortly. So I'm going to take this one, which is like Odyssey Elixir. This one does have caffeine in it. So it's not one that you would have if you're affected by caffeine, that you would have like at the end of your workday where you're trying to unwind or, whatever the phrase would be after your workday, because This one does have caffeine in it. It has 85 milligrams, which I think is equivalent to about a cup of coffee. So, but because I'm going to go to the gym here in about 40 minutes or so, I'm going to have a little bit of caffeine. So I'm doing Odyssey Elixir. And
Okay,
this
you have
also
to do.
has like the lion's mane and other stuff in it that's supposed to help with your focus and yada, yada, yada. And cognitive
And you can
ability.
drink it. You can drink it while you work.
Ready? Oh, yeah. I
That's
should have
good.
brought down like a clear cup though, because I bet this color is really pretty because it is blackberry lemonade. So I bet it's like a nice purple color.
Okay, let's see it.
That's pretty good. I would rate that I would buy again.
What does it taste like though? Does it taste like a seltzer? Does it taste like a...
It's bubbly and carbonated, so I would say yes, and it has a very lemonade flavor to it. The lemonade probably comes more than the blackberry. And it is sparkling. So definitely would get this one. It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
All right, my turn. I'm going to start with my least favorite. Don't come for me, Budweiser. But it is.
Oh, no.
It's the Budweiser Zero. And it's not terrible, so I don't want to say that, but there's a lot better options out there if you're going to do something that's NA. But let's...
So are we going to drink all of these? Because I have 4. Are we going to drink all of them, or are we just going to taste test them and have some...
I'm not drinking all of them. No way. I'm just having little sips. And I'm put them back in my fridge and maybe drink one later or dump them out.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to dump it out because they're too expensive, but also I don't know that I can drink 4 carbonated beverages.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should look this up though, because tell folks how much it cost, because I did buy it on...
Oh yeah, we can add that too into the description. This one, so this is 50 calories, no sugar, but it just tastes like honestly, it just tastes like a watered down Bud Light. But so it still tastes like beer. It's just the quality. I think they missed on the quality. And this is a cheaper option than some of the other things that I have in the cooler.
Yeah, this one is you get a 12-pack for $40.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
really expensive. That's more expensive than the ones that I have here.
Yeah. So I think I might have got it on a sale, and so right now it's $40. But that's what I mean. That's $3.50 a drink, which is way more expensive than a can of beer, but cheaper than I guess a craft cocktail, if you go out to a restaurant or something. But it's still kind of pricey.
Yeah,
I think it's pricey.
And the other thing too, you bring up an interesting topic. Going out to different restaurants and bars and stuff, one thing I'm noticing is they're starting to have a lot more non-alcoholic options. And so not that we choose my husband doesn't drink. So it's not that we choose where we go based on that, but it is a little bit of a check in the pro column. Oh yeah. And they have this type of beer there. So that's nice. So we see it more, but there's still some places obviously that just don't, they're just not in it yet.
Yeah. And I will say Brad is in the beverage equipment world. And he works for a place here in Lincoln that does manufactures beverage equipment. He says it's significantly more expensive to remove the alcohol. So he's like, yes, it is more expensive, but they are buying there's a very large upfront capital expense, as I understand it, to actually remove
I didn't even
alcohol.
think about that.
So he says it is. I don't know. He would have to give you the prices because I don't know any of this stuff.
Right.
But I do understand it to be a much more expensive endeavor for companies to make non-alcoholic items over alcoholic items.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. What's your next one?
I have this one that's called Hop Water.
I drank one last night.
Do you have the blood orange one?
Oh, wait. No, I have Hop Splash. Never mind.
Oh. So I have 2 hop waters here, and I don't know that I'm going to open up both, but I have Lagunitas Hoppy Refresher, and I have the Hop Water, which is, they have several flavors, but these also have those nootropics and adaptogens that are supposed to help kind of unwind in a way than with alcohol. No side effects, obviously. And these are all, I should say, since you mentioned calories. Oh, my mic
Whoa.
fell.
Are you drunk? Are you sure
Stop
those are
it.
non-alcoholic?
Okay, there we go. This can is like 25 calories.
Oh yeah,
Zero
that's
sugar
not too
added.
bad.
It does have a erythritol in it, so if you hate that, then that's going to be a problem.
Yeah,
But these are both 0 calories, so if you're really looking for a super healthy option,
yeah,
that is no calories.
nice.
You got some options here. So I'm only going to open up one.
Okay,
Which
that's
one do you
fair.
think is a better one to trial?
Oh man, I feel like I want to hear about the blood orange one
Okay, here we go. Ready?
because I think the Lagunitas. Dang, girl, that sounds good.
Okay, this says proudly hopped. It has a blend of hops and other things in it. Again, sparkling. I get not that much blood orange, but a little bit of citrus on the backside.
Okay.
So I also don't get a ton of hops in this. And I do like hops if like you're an IPA drinker or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I like hops quite a bit, but I don't get a huge amount of hops flavor in it. The citrus kind of covers that up. But overall, this feels like something you would drink in the summertime because it's pretty light and refreshing. So could be okay. But if you live where I live, where it's just super cold right now, this is not my go-to.
Yeah. Do you, so I had the hop splash or something last night. I pour mine in a glass with ice. And then I actually, since mine was not flavored at all, I was cooking and I had a lime cut up. I'm like, oh, I'll squeeze a little bit of lime in there. And it was super refreshing and good.
All right, cool. Well, what's your second one?
All right. Second one.
I did say, hold on. This one I said was 8 to 8.5 out of 10. I'd probably rate this one right now for me like more of a 6. But I think it's because it's not that it's bad. It's just like it doesn't match my vibe of what I can see outside.
Yeah. Seasonal.
Yeah. So otherwise it'd probably be like, again, about a 7 to 8.
Okay. I have going for the White Claw NA. Oh. This is mango flavored. 15 calories. And they say it's a non-alcoholic premium seltzer.
Okay.
So I've had this before. I don't know why I'm making really weird faces when I do it. I feel like it's like a champagne bottle, like it's going to hit me in the face.
I did notice that, but I didn't want to say anything.
Okay. Mango flavored. I really like these. I think I'm in the same boat with you as far as like seasonality. This is something I want to drink when it's hot outside and I'm on the boat.
Yep.
But it's still like the thing I like about the White Claws is I think there's a difference between non-alcoholic like seltzers. There's two camps. There's the camps where it just tastes like sparkling water, and then there's the other camp where it actually tastes like a seltzer, but it's non-alcoholic. The thing I like about this is it actually tastes like a White Claw.
I would say this tastes like just a sparkling water.
Yeah. So that's why I like this one a lot. So I give this, and I got a sampler pack, highly recommend. It wasn't too terribly expensive. White Claw is already, I guess, kind of expensive as far as seltzers go. But I would rate this as far as like a seltzer, probably like I'd probably give it an 8.
Okay.
8, yeah.
I would also, since I did the price on the other one, this one is, I'm looking it up, is $23 per 12 pack. So significantly cheaper, but it's still $2-ish a drink or something to drink. It's not like it's super cheap. So if you're looking for alternatives, like you kind of have to be somewhat committed, or you just need to have water. Yeah. Sparkling water if you really want.
Right. Just go buy, I'm going to say this wrong. LaCroix. Yeah. We drink a lot of that here, but I don't actually know how to say it. So you're not going to open up anymore? Because I got 3 more, but I can do rapid fire.
I'll do one more because this one is my favorite.
I know what this one is, but I've never had it before.
This one's my favorite. So this is called Hi-Yo. Well, actually, I don't even know if that's how you say it. That's how I say it.
No.
And they have several different flavors. This one's peach mango. And again, these are about $3 a piece. So, and this one has 30 calories in it. It looks like it has a couple of added sugars, but otherwise organic puree. Has a super great flavor. I love it. But the way that I try to make it go a little bit longer is that I happen to love anything like tangy. You know, I love pickles and
Mm-hmm.
anything like that vinegar. So I take about half of it and then I dump in like a fever tree tonic or club water to make it extra
Oh,
sparkly.
yeah,
And then I
yeah,
add an apple cider vinegar, which is it's supposed to be good for like your gut health and
yeah, yeah,
probiotics because I buy the stuff that has like the mother still in it and
yeah,
so forth. And so I end up getting 2 drinks like out of it because I'm already adding fizzies in case it's carbonated. But if it runs out of fizzies, I just make it. This is how
yeah.
like frugal I am in my life.
You
But
lush.
I know it's so good. So this one's my favorite, peach mango. Well, I think it's my favorite. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like 4 different flavors, and I
You
would
like
recommend.
sours too, right? Like sour beers. Do you like sour
Oh yeah,
beers?
I like sour beers.
So that's what kind of made me think about it when you talk about like putting in some of the like vinegar and stuff.
Yeah, it's so good. Anyway, so yeah, I do love this one's really
Okay.
good. I would recommend this one out of all of them the most, and then I'd probably do this like of the 3 that you just saw me trample in this
Yeah.
elixir. Let me see if I
Do
can
you
find the price point on this
price?
high.
Do you get the Hio off of Amazon?
I did
Or
the
do you go
first one
direct?
direct from their website, but
Okay.
as of last year, they started selling it through Amazon. They were not on Amazon when I originally purchased it,
Okay.
but now they are. And this is also about $40 per, I think, 12 pack. So
Mm,
a little
expensive.
pricier. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also got to remember these guys are shipping liquid. Like
Yeah.
it's also heavy to ship.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's the other thing. If you're going, I'm going to start to my house, but maybe if you go to, I don't know, your local grocery store or like whatever place,
They
liquor
might
store
have
that
it.
sells this, it might be a better price because I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's kind of expensive.
Okay. All right. I'm going in for my next one. We got a Lagunitas IPA, and I like the label here because it like IPA NA, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just catchy. Um,
We had 2
I
Lagunitas items then
I
because I also
know
had the hoppy water,
the refresher.
hoppy
So
refresher.
I actually don't really remember what this tasted like, but oh, fun fact: these are moose testicles.
Interesting.
Okay. I'm not actually a big IPA drinker, but I will say in the realm of non-alcoholic beer, I do like it because I think it's more flavorful and it tastes more beerish, if that makes any sense. So,
Sure.
I don't love this one. um, it'd do in a pinch, I guess. If I was really hurting for a IPA NA, I give this one a 3 out of 10. Maybe a
Oh,
4.
that doesn't seem
Um,
very good.
Just because I've had so much better ones, I know, and I
Yeah.
have one here too. So
Okay, we need to get to your last one that's actually good because you have not been in love with. Well, I guess you were okay with the White Claw one, but
I like the White Claw. I give it
yeah,
8 out of 10.
yeah.
Okay. All right. My last 2 are my favorite. So I'll do this one next. Okay. Athletic Brewing. Um,
Yes.
they have the best non-alcoholic beer. So in Kansas, we can only buy like this, which one? This is the Run Wild IPA. They have a hazy IPA. They have like a what do you call just like a light beer? Just like a
Like a
Miller
lager.
the lager, and
Yeah.
then they have like a Mexican style beer, tastes like a Corona. And so those are all really good. But they have a bunch of different flavors and we can't get them shipped here in Kansas. So the only way we buy those like 4 brands is if we go to a liquor store and they normally carry them. They have like stouts and all sorts of different stuff. So I follow the CEO. I follow a bunch of people on LinkedIn that work for Athletic. And anytime they comment on a new release, or post on a new release, I comment and say, oh, it'd be really nice if we could ship this to Kansas. We're still waiting. So I'm one of those, I guess. But here we go. Athletic Run Wild IPA. That was nice. Immediately tastes better. 65 calories. I'm trying to get us a sponsorship, Alicia. 65 calories, 14 grams, carbs, no fat. Just kidding. None of them have fat. But it does say no fat on here.
I,
Okay.
so I think that brand was my first one that I ever tried many, many years ago. Like when this is before kind of like the NA became more popular into the scene. And I feel like there's been a huge surge of like sober curious and just trying to find healthier
Yeah.
alternatives because alcohol is maybe not the best for you, as they say. And so, but I think that they've actually reduced their calories. I think back in the day, it used to have maybe like 100 calories per
Oh,
can.
really?
And I remember thinking when I bought it, I was like, geez, like this is just as caloric as like a beer, which was kind of surprising to me. And now it seems like they've improved it a little bit, but 65 is still on the higher side than some of the other ones you have.
Yeah. I think like for me, for the NA stuff, I care probably a little. No, I'm burpy.
I
A
know I
little,
had to mute myself as well.
little less about the calories because I know I'm not going to have them in excess, if that makes sense. Like you're obviously not getting a buzz. So real like when I have these, the most I think I ever have in a row is 2. And that's pretty rare. So I don't know, maybe it's some weird like psychology that I'm using on myself, but I'm like, these calories don't matter because there's no alcohol in it and I'm being good. And I do this dance when I drink it.
Maybe you're just trying to like think about your wallet as well. And you're like, I'm only going to have 2.
Right.
It's pretty expensive.
Adam's going to see that I opened all of these and just took like 2 drinks. He's like, what the hell?
This is
Okay.
$20 to record this episode.
Literally. Okay, so my last one is my favorite cocktail, and it's by Recess, and it is a Paloma.
I've actually been wanting to try those. I've seen them on the
They're
market and they look delicious.
they're really good. 25 calories, and it does have 3 grams of added sugar. I'm kind of surprised by that. But anyways, it's really delicious. And this is the one that I'm actually going to drink when we're done recording. So here goes. That one had a nice pop to it as well. I also normally drink this over ice in a glass with a straw because I'm a lady.
Oh, with a straw. Okay.
Yep, this is the best one.
Yeah. The Ohio is by far my favorite. And I also put it into a fancy wine glass whenever I mix it all up when I add the apple cider vinegar and other stuff. Yeah, this way it feels really fancy.
Do you know what? Oh gosh, maybe the internet's going to make fun of me. Guayusa? Guayusa. Do you know what that is? Mm-hmm. It has the aptogens, but I've never heard infused with Guayusa? Guayusa? All right. I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. All right. Well, cool. So
yeah,
overall, I think if you're looking to participate because maybe you've overindulged in December, here are some options. They're a little pricey, but they are healthier. I'm going to assume healthier. I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you that like with certainty, but I'm assuming these are healthier. Maybe not healthier for your wallet.
No.
But healthier.
But maybe think about it this way. You're only drinking like 1, maybe 2. So you're not like going through it. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you are.
But so if you're going to buy some and you are sober curious or participating in dry/damp January, then maybe you'd go with the Ohio or this Odyssey Elixir.
Yeah.
Or if you just want a sparkling beverage, maybe the hop water.
I like your recap. You're so good.
I didn't even try this one, but it's citrusy and light. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the hop water.
Yeah. And you're going to go for the Recess.
I'm going to go for the Recess or probably like an Athletic.
Yeah.
But we have many more in our refrigerator. We have like the Sam Adams IPA. We have this like Well-Being IPA. Guinness Zero is really good. I was going to open that, but those are pretty pricey. And I knew I wasn't going to drink it all. And Adam really likes those. So that one, he'd probably been like, "What the hell?"
You could have brought it to him afterwards.
That's true. I could have. But the Guinness Zero would be definitely high up on my list as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
2025, here we come. I am fully participating in Dry January this year. I did overindulge. I just need like a break, like a reset. So recess, athletic, it's going to be coming in hot for me. How many more days do we got?
I mean, really,
25 more. I honestly, if it wasn't for wine, I could totally do it. But something about in the evenings, cooking dinner with a glass of wine.
It's just great.
Ugh.
Yeah, you know what? We did not feature any wines, and you've tried several of those, so maybe we should
So
try
many.
that next. Yeah.
They're not good, and they're even more expensive.
Dang it. That's not good.
Yeah, sucks. Okay, well, any parting words, thoughts?
No, it's just time to cue that outro music.
You're supposed to peace out.
Well, I'm out of practice. I don't know why I gotta get yelled at.